What is it with you lot? You weren't happy last year. I give you Saturday night entertainment, and what do I hear? We want Mythbusters. What the hell am I to do? How can I do Mythbusters, for God's sake? Do I have to make it up as I go along? Oh, cue the music.
Just who is the Armadacon Mythbuster?
That's all chocolate.
It's this idiot. For more years than anyone cares to remember, he's been blowing stuff up in the name of entertainment.
Now that was predictable.
Now, he not only makes up the myths, he blows the crap out of them afterwards.
Okay, here's the story. Have you ever noticed that grenades are segmented? Now, it's supposed to go segmentation for fragmentation, so everyone gets a fair share. But have you also noticed that bars of chocolate are segmented just like grenades? So the question is, if you blow up a bar of chocolate, will it fragment just like a hand grenade? Let's find out. As with all experiments, we should be starting small and working our way up. For obviously we're going to need, for this one, lots of chocolate, some from small to large. We're going to need some test subjects to test the shrapnel effect, and because we're running on a budget, we don't have Buster, but we do have Pooh Bear and Tigger. So for our first experiment, we are going to start with small Christmas decorations. Obviously they're made of chocolate, so we're going to put some pyro in these, let it off, and we see if we get a shrapnel effect. Right, here's our first experiment. We've got a Christmas tree decoration with some pyro in it. We have our crowd around the offending piece of doom, and we're going to see if any of them are knocked over or embedded with chocolate shrapnel in a similar vein to a grenade. I didn't even go bang! Jeez, who thought myth busting would be so bloody hard? Let's try this again. Bollocks. Here we have a slightly larger piece of chocolate. It's Santa, the world's ultimate pedo. You know, he goes into little children's room and he empties his sack. It's a good job we're killing him then. So here we go, same setup, two small test subjects and Pooh Bear. So let's see if he fragments as well as the others. Yes, I think Santa. Yeah. Our test subjects are definitely covered in it. Check him out. Freckles, anyone? Yeah, I think we can definitely say at this time that chocolate does have a tendency to come apart when you stick pyro in it. Even Pooh Bear has got freckles. However, because we've got to keep going and get even bigger. For this experiment, we're moving up to possibly the largest size, and that is an Easter egg. Will an Easter egg, which is clearly segmented just like a hand grenade, come apart and kill our test subjects? Here we go. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I think the answer to that is most conclusive. Test subject number 1 was clearly blown off the table. There's chocolate absolutely everywhere, and Mandeville here looks like he shit himself, and this one's seen when we've seen better days. Pooh Bear has seemed to have withstood the attack quite well. So, oh look, there is some chocolate here. So we'll have to come up with something a little more cunning to demonstrate the power of exploding chocolate. Here comes the next experiment. We have to find out if chocolate has any other weaponry uses. Here we have Pooh Bear, and here we have a Christmas decoration made out of chocolate. The question is, can Pooh Bear commit suicide by chocolate? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert this piece of chocolate into the bottom of this piece of pyro. When the pyro goes off, it should, in theory, rip open his head. Let's find out. As you can see, the pyro and the chocolate has done substantial damage to Pooh Bear. I wonder if he still works.
I like dancing with you. Dancing is so much friendlier with two.
Shut up. Well, I'm glad he still works, because we need to do more experiments with him. But we have to ask ourselves the question now, what happens if you eat a piece of exploding chocolate? I think for this experiment, we're going to have to use Tigger. Here is Tigger, who has now eaten some exploding chocolate. What will the effect be when that chocolate goes off? I think that Tigger is no more.
Hello, I'm Tigger. T-I-double-G-R.
Oh, yeah, I think Tigger is finished. in this experiment, Mandible here, or is this Mandible? No, that's Mandible, Stoke Mandible more like the time I finished with them, is trying to diffuse a piece of pyro that has some chocolate in the end of it, like this. He's reaching inside, trying to get the chocolate out before the pyro goes off. The question is, will he make it successfully, disarming the pyro chocolate bomb? Unfortunately, Mandeville was not able to disarm the bomb. The bomb went off, and Mandeville here, well, quite honestly, definitely a Stoke Mandeville job. Tough luck. Let's try your counterpart with another experiment. In the final experiment of the offensive capabilities of chocolate, Wendell here has swallowed a chocolate Christmas decoration. Now, we have to get out of him fast, otherwise Wendell is likely to die. So what we're doing is we're using a pyro enema to flush out the deadly chocolate. Will it work? Unfortunately not. The chocolate killed Wendell before the pyro went off. Unfortunately, when it comes to Wendell, there's nothing much left of him. We have seen the offensive capabilities of chocolate, but what about the defensive capabilities? What we're going to do is we're going to test chocolate body armour. Here we see Pooh Bear with a chocolate bar taped to his front. Will it protect him when fired at? Let's find out. For this experiment, I'm going to use this Glock with one full load of ammunition. I'm going to shoot directly at the chocolate bar. If the chocolate bar fractures and the ammo goes straight through, then this chocolate is not viable as a safety device. However, if it does not go all the way through the chocolate, then chocolate as a body armour has some potential and needs looking at further. Let's go. Here we go. Sorted. Let's have a look at the results. It can clearly be seen that the ammo did not pierce the back of the chocolate, but did make several indentations in the front. So far, chocolate as body armour is looking good. So what we have to do now is ramp up the ante. For this experiment, we're ramping up the ante as I've said. Instead of one pistol on semi-auto, we're going to use 2 on full auto. Let the fun begin. Here we go. Fun time. Time to check the results. The results are now in. As can clearly be seen, the chocolate bar has now shattered. However, there are no markings on the back and no BBs can be found. The conclusion is it's still looking good for chocolate body armour. However, we've not finished yet. This chocky bar may be finished, but there are other sorts of chocky bar out there. We'd better test those. Pooh Bear is now wearing caramel-filled chocolate. Will the shock-absorbing qualities of caramel make for better body armour? This time we're going to use something a little more heavy-duty than pistols. We're going to use this socking great big thing. Let the experimentation begin. Showtime. And let's go heavy duty. Now let's go check the results. As can clearly be seen, the chocolate filled with caramel was not able to withstand the impact of a rifle. And to prove that this is chocolate, caramel. I like caramel. I can't stand chocolate though. But the experimentation isn't finished. Let's move on. This is the last experiment. What's going to happen is Pooh Bear is wearing shock-absorbent bubbly chocolate. He's going to be shot by a firing squad over there. Can this bubbly chocolate absorb the impact of the ammo fired at him? Let the fun commence. In your own time, go on!
That's our entertainment!
I think we can safely say that the myth of using chocolate as body armour is well and truly busted, along with Pooh Bear. Our next myth deals with something popularised in film and television. You've probably seen in the likes of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson uses a gun to operate light switches, etc. So the myth is, can a gun successfully be used to remotely operate things? Considering this is the 25th anniversary of Armadacon, we thought we'd bring in a special guest just for this video. And for this special guest, we've got the Star Trek Risk Communicator. We are going to try to open this box and remotely operate the communicator inside. Let the myth, along with the Star Trek Risk Communicator, be busted. The first thing we're going to have to do is to open the box. To open this box using a gun, we are going to use this, a shotty. Let the experiment commence. Okay, here we go. Now let's go see the results. As you can see, the box has been successfully opened. However, I think it may have damaged the Star Trek wrist communicator a bit. However, we still have to find out if it still works. I'll come back in a minute. Now that the smoke is cleared, we can now reach in and get our Star Trek wrist communicator. Yeah, it's looking a bit frazzled. Let's see if it still works. Yeah. Even the light on top still works. Now you have to admit, these are very small buttons. So we need something relatively accurate, an order to operate these buttons with a little bit of accuracy. So we're going back to our sniper rifle. Let's set up the experiment. Here's the setup for this experiment. The wrist communicator has been mounted on a pole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand over there with the sniper rifle and I'm going to try and hit these buttons to operate the wrist communicator, like so. Right, let's see what happens. Here we go. Let's take it up a notch. Now let's go see the results. As you can see, the first experiment hasn't been very successful. There's one or two dinks and pock marks, but not a single button has operated it. That's because the fucking thing's knackered. Oh, fuck, the light is still on. Well, on further examination, it was found that the buttons don't work. The light's still going, like so, but the buttons, they've had it. So I think it's fair to say that this myth is busted already. It is just not possible to operate something with guns. It's just ludicrous. However, the question is, can we do something with this, like switch this light out using pyro? So if I switch the light on, there it's on there. Let's see what happens when we subject it to pyro. Well, it's definitely looked very, very black. And the light's gone out. This Star Trek wrist communicator is dead. Well, you lot had better have enjoyed this edition of Mythbusters, and I want no stupid suggestions out of you next time. Myths busted, lots of pyro, lots of stupidity, lots of fun. I'm out of here. Well, until next year anyway.